Deadly battle against the Islamic State could take another 20 years. That's the word from the Joint Chiefs Chairman, General Martin Dempsey, in an interview with a Danish news outlet. He says coalition forces can use multiple tactics to cripple the terrorist army, but the one thing that is imperative, they must convince young Arabs to reject extremism. Otherwise, General Dempsey says, ISIS would just come back under a different name. The U.S. has already spent billions and billions of dollars and teamed up with allies to launch thousands of airstrikes against ISIS, but the group still controls large portions of Iraq and Syria. U.S. Marine Corps Harrier jets joined the air campaign this week, launching their first bombing runs from the USS Essex Navy assault ship in the Persian Gulf. Meantime, Syrian state-run media and activists there report ISIS militants have beheaded one of Syria's top archaeologists in an ancient town of Palmyra. They report that the terrorists then hanged his 82-year-old body from one of the town's Roman columns. Palmyra is famous for its Roman ruins, and the militants have reportedly already destroyed some landmarks there. The terrorists have also targeted historical sites in Iraq. They claim it's all part of an effort to stop idol worship. Tara Mahler is a former CIA military analyst. She's now a research fellow at the International Security Program at New America. It describes itself as a think tank that delivers impartial analysis. 20 years.
20 years. But I think it's important when you look at Dempsey's comments, he wasn't talking about airstrikes in the campaign as we see it now for 20 years. He was talking about 20 years in terms of addressing the underlying political dynamics, economic issues, disgruntlement between Sunnis and Shias, the ongoing Syrian civil war. So lots of factors that will take, in fact, 20 years to resolve. So this is a long fight, and I think he was trying to manage expectations. He
focuses, and most analysts say rightly so, on this matter of convincing young Arabs that turning to extremism is the wrong answer to their problems. So far, that message is not resonating.
I agree. The message has not been resonating, and we've seen reports that even though we've killed a lot of ISIS fighters, the recruitment rates are replacing them at a rapid rate, so the levels of fighters are remaining constant, which is why it's not just about hitting thousands of targets and 5,500 airstrikes since this started. It's about treating the underlying symptoms, and this is the part of the problem that the U.S. government has, to be quite honest, had the most problems with: counter-radicalization and counter-extremism.
And I keep hearing from folks within the government and even outside it who work with it, who say we're working on online strategies, we're working on social media strategies to try to employ some of the same methods that the extremists use, but for good rather than for evil. I look for it, I can't find it.
Well, it's a really difficult problem. You have ISIS exploiting social media and Twitter, which has millions of active users. So countering these messages isn't as easy as it seems. I mean, Twitter's been trying to crack down on it. We have private companies trying to crack down on it. ISIS is getting out their videos rapid fire. And to be quite honest, we need to recruit people with cultural expertise to work in the U.S. government and help on lots of these issues.
I watch how well political campaigns in the United States use opposition research to nick at and cut apart their opponents. And you wonder if, and I'm being serious here, if the government couldn't employ some of those people who are so good at tearing down political opponents to tear down this ridiculous ideology.